everyone, my name is Arham and welcome back to my channel Arhams Info. So today's topic is COVID-19. COVID-19 is one of the largest and most immediate threats to human life in the modern day, with millions of infections and hundreds of thousands of deaths to its name. It seems like every day we learn fighting new facts about the disease, like its extreme contagious and its apparent ability to cause massive stroke and insane of its victim. But for many, these are light at the end of the tunnels. The COVID-19 vaccines that will grant us all immunity from this terrifying virus. But we are sorry to report that actually getting an effective vaccine for COVID-19 is not necessary in the cards. That's right, like a lot of the most dangerous and complicated problem facing humanity today, the hope for a simple silver bullet answers to out problems might just be a futile and even dangerous fantasy. You will likely see countless articles about the various vaccine development projects across the globe and how all these tests are claiming to be standing on the doorstep of a major breakthrough. However, experts like Michael Ostrom, director of the University of Minnesota Center for Infection Disease Research and Policy, think that news like this is building dangerously false hope among the public. The idea that a vaccine will definitely be developed and available in the next several months has led many to underestimate the virus, both in terms of its immediate negative effects and its potential to infect even wider smaller of the global population. Even if we do get lucky and find a workable vaccine, the battle would be far from over. In Osterham's own words, even if we had a vaccine that showed some evidence of protection by September, we are people's arms as globe development and rollant world likely be a widely uneven nightmare, and even that feels optimistic compound to the possibility that a vaccine might always continue to await us. Today we are going to explore that worst case scenario, the fact we may never see an effective vaccine for the virus, why this might be the case, and what a future where COVID-19 is never fully wiped out could look like. First, with so much stringently positive news about vaccine development breaking every day, what might all these came to nothing successful vaccine for horrific viruses. So in the past, like smallpox and polio, so why not COVID-19? Well, this situation is a lot more complicated than most of the general public currently understands. The degree to which a virus is a model to an effective vaccine has less to do with the symptoms, traits of the virus, and more to do with its vector. Researchers Adolfo Garcia Sestres pushes the specific characteristic of how the virus infects, hence why a disease as deadly smallpox can be conquered and a disease and amongly simple as the common cold continues to be impossible to vaccine against. Unlucky for us, all evidence currently points to COVID-19 being closer to the common cold on the scale than something like smallpox. Naturally, this is extremely concerning because the rate at which COVID-19 causes serious then and even death in the victim is also for closer to smallpox. Researchers have found what the characteristic of COVID-19 in 10 of the viruses are extremely similar to that of an earlier coronavirus, SARS, which came to promises in the early 2000s, unlike which COVID-19 SARS was caught on contained, quickly leading to it burning itself out after only killing 700 people compared to COVID-19's multiple hundreds of the thousand. At the time, scientists developed two different vaccines for SARS that they tested on lab animal and found some extremely disturbing effects, while the vaccine did activate an antibodies with immune system that allowed the test subjects to respond to SARS. So the antibodies, the when actually among the stop the virus for causing serious damage. A quick science lessons on how vaccine work. Vaccine introduce molecules of certain viral, sometimes bacterial pathogens known as antigens into the body in order to trains the body immune system to recognize and fight a pathogen. The body allowed and fight a pathogen. The body does this naturally, but this can take valuable time during which the disease can progress to dangerous levels. So disease can progress. Vaccine allow the body to have the antibodies before the first infection even begins. They essentially nips a burgeoning pathogenic trait in the band. Unless a pathogen undergoes regular antigenic shift like the flu virus or common cold. This means new antibodies will need to be produced for each strain of the pathogen that mature. Rachel Rupert, a professor of immunology and Fast Carolina University who played a part in those affirmations SARS test. This credible evidence to indicate that COVID-19 might just be a resistant to vaccination altogether, and it's not just SARS that sets the precedent for these. The FDA has never approved a single viable vaccination against any coronavirus, including SARS, MERS, and the common cold. In some ways, it could actually be more surprising to find that they could develop a vaccine. For COVID-19, there's also a common saying in scientific research circle, myceli and monkeys don't tell the truth, meanings that results discovered in animals and are not always gamblized the human subject. So even necessarily means there's some results will carry over to human. Researchers like Roper have also highlighted the possibility that rushing into a bad vaccine could be far worse than having any vaccine at all. Experts have pointed to past horror stories like Dengexia, a 2016 vaccine for the naturally vaccine resistant dengue fever that was used on allowed 800,000 Filipino school children and had some disastrous results. Authorities hooked into the deaths of 600 of these children. All of them were possibly killed by a phenomenon known as immune enhancement. This is when, due to progress design and testing, a vaccine does the opposite of what it was intended to do, and instead of helping the body, it makes infection worse. This is because in the event of immune enhance and the antibody actually help the virus progress further through the body and preventing it, while instances like these are relatively rare and definitely should be used as proved by anti-vaxxing sorcerer moms who are in the process of bringing back measles, but it's still a risk worth considering before anyone tries to rush in with a half-baked vaccine plan. However, while a badly made vaccine could not culminations vaccine that only work for a relatively short period of time could still be useful, as they may at least show some of the spread of the virus. Well, it's become clear that some countries have most likely been hiding or misreporting the true index of their infection. This new normal would also feature a certain degree of social distancing as standard changes to social norms, like the elimination of shaking hands and don't hug. So we do manage to create a workable vaccine and accompanying antivirus treatment. We will be better off the exercising the caution and consideration that comes with knowing just how bad the worst care scenario can truly be.